Now, it's become the en vogue thing to trash the internet and what it does to our brains, particularly our children and our young people's brains. Somehow the idea that a wealth of information and a world of communication is only a click away has become corrupted. We hear discussion of shortened attention spans brought about by our thoughts being confined to only 140 characters. We hear criticism that depth of thought, introspection and personal reflection have all but disappeared as we live our lives increasingly online and not in the real world. We are told that our appreciation of sources with integrity is being compromised as we turn instead to what is nothing more than an uneducated thought bubble on a screen. We are told that our relationships with each other have become less meaningful as they are reduced to a series of emails, Facebook shares and Instagram likes. Parents are warned that we're raising a generation of socially awkward, socially isolated, socially uneducated, socially phobic loners who cannot read facial expressions or body language and who would rather tweet to the person on the other side of the couch than talk to them with their actual voice. Sorry, but I say bollocks to all of that. How can anyone look at the hundreds of millions of people of all ages interacting with people all over the world they would never have otherwise met and sharing advice, information and common interests and see a society that is less connected? Being disabled, geographically isolated, shy, impoverished, these are no longer barriers to connecting with other people thanks to the internet. The internet hasn't changed the way we think or what we feel. By giving us unprecedented and previously unimaginable access to information, the internet has simply changed what our brains are able to do with information and given us a new, faster, simpler method of interacting and connecting with one another. And as Bernard Keane explains in Crikey, that's what the media do and have always done. Print, the telegraph, radio, TV, they rewire humans inside their heads and in how they relate to each other, except the internet is doing it on a far bigger scale and more quickly than any previous medium. All those absurd stories about how the internet is destroying the fragile minds of our young people in the Sunday papers every week, the ones that always start a new study from, miss the point totally. They don't see the World Wide Web for the trees. Or, as British author, columnist and Twitter enthusiast Caitlin Moran puts it, the sheer, awesome, exhilarating power of the internet is absolutely captivating. It is the biggest game on earth, the 21st century equivalent of the birth of rock and roll. For those who don't work in it, who are merely customers rather than Mark Zuckerberg, having access to it is like standing on a rocky ledge halfway down Victoria Falls in the middle of an all-enveloping monsoon. The roar and the spray, the constant motion and hydrating mist are intoxicating. Thousands of new things tumbling past you every second, swept into the river above in the flood, that you can just reach out and grab. Maps and shops and faces and friends from 1987 and that clip from that show that time and snowflakes and explosions and Crosby, Stills and Nash singing Hopelessly Hoping in 3-part harmony as many times as you want.